I'm going to talk to you about tank removal remorse. You've hired a company to remove your tank. It was a very reasonable price. Typically probably went with the cheapest company you found. And now the tank leaked and they're pushing you into spending a lot more money, and you're kind of uncertain as if it's necessary and where did this all come from. Let's circle back to the original collection of costs for the tank removal. All right. Any tank removal has potential for it to leak, so any company you hire should discuss that. That's the dark side of things. Obviously, a tank that doesn't leak has no additional cost. When a tank is removed, there's going to be additional costs involved, either just simply additional testing to evaluate the levels or actually remediation. And here's where things get gray. All right. When you remove a tank, you always want to take a couple samples to make sure the tank has not leaked, and you want that documented in the report. But let's say you remove the tank, there's multiple holes in it. All right. Many firms will say, you know what, you need to immediately jump to remediation. And in reality, you don't, because there's certain levels that are and are not permissible. In New Jersey, the regulations require that when a tank leaks, you're supposed to collect 5 to 6 soil samples from surrounding the sidewalls, the annexation, and the bottom to assess the levels. If your levels are within permissible limits, which is anything below 5,100 parts per million is acceptable, you can actually finalize that without having to do remediation. You can write a report to the state saying that my levels were within this range, my tank did leak, but not so excessively that I require remediation. If your tank removal company did not discuss this, they were setting you up for remediation that probably is most likely not necessary. I discussed this because you probably chose the company that was the least expensive, and the next one up probably would have been a few $100s more, because the additional expense is having a licensed qualified person on site to collect those samples. They might call it a project manager, a geologist, a scientist, but there's a license for that person to actually be allowed to take those samples and draft a report documenting it to close it out with the state. If you want to know more information about oil tanks and tank